Have you ever sat in a room full of people, friends, classmates, coworkers, and still felt out of place? Not rejected, not disliked, just misaligned. Like everyone else understands the social script while you're quietly trying to read the lines. You can talk, you can laugh, you can participate, but inside, a quiet thought keeps returning. Why do I feel like I don't belong anywhere? And the strange part is, this feeling doesn't always come from loneliness. Sometimes it appears in the middle of connection. So the question becomes deeper. Why does the human brain sometimes create the feeling of being an outsider, even when nothing obvious is wrong? For some people, this feeling starts early. School corridors, group conversations, family gatherings. You notice something subtle. Others move through social situations effortlessly. They speak quickly, they react naturally, they belong without thinking about belonging. But for you, interaction feels different. You observe more, you analyze, you pause before speaking. It's not exactly social anxiety. It's more like a quiet distance inside the mind. You are present, but also watching yourself being present. Your mind constantly asks, how am I coming across? Did that sound strange? Did I say too much? Most people experience these thoughts occasionally, but some minds experience them constantly. And when the mind is always observing itself, you stop feeling like part of the group. You start feeling like an observer of the group. Not outside physically, but outside mentally. But this feeling does not mean something is wrong with you. Many people who feel this way share similar psychological traits. They tend to be more introspective, more aware of subtle emotional signals, more reflective about identity. Their brain doesn't just experience life, it studies it. You notice emotional shifts in conversations, unspoken tension, hidden meanings. While others move through the moment, you are quietly mapping the moment. This extra awareness changes how belonging feels. Belonging is easiest when the brain is simply participating. But introspective minds often analyze while participating, which creates distance. Not because something is wrong with you, but because your mind processes reality more deeply. To understand this better, imagine the brain has two internal systems. The first is the social flow system. This system runs on instinct. It reads facial expressions quickly, responds automatically, adapts without overthinking. This system keeps people socially synchronized, like a group dance. Nobody is thinking about every step, they simply move together. But some brains activate another system more strongly. Psychologists call this the default mode network. This network activates during self-reflection and identity thinking. It asks questions like, who am I? How do others see me? Where do I fit? When this system becomes very active, your mind starts observing yourself within the situation. Instead of just dancing, you're also watching the dance. It's like standing on the dance floor while analyzing the choreography from above. And that dual awareness creates distance. The brain interprets that distance as, I don't belong here, even when the reality may be different. Another psychological pattern also contributes to this feeling: identity depth. Some people build their identity through external roles, friend groups, social labels, shared interests. Their identity grows through belonging. But other people build identity through internal reflection. They ask deeper questions. What do I believe? Who am I becoming? What feels authentic? When identity grows this way, belonging becomes more complex. It's no longer just about fitting in, it becomes about alignment. Until that alignment appears, a mind keeps searching, which can feel like not belonging anywhere. If your mind often creates this feeling, the solution is not forcing yourself to change. It is understanding how your mind works. First, stop using belonging as a test. Many people treat belonging like a simple signal. If they feel comfortable, they assume they belong. If they feel different, they assume they don't. But psychologically, belonging develops through repeated experiences of safety. Instead of asking, "Do I belong here?" ask, "Is this environment safe enough for me to slowly be myself?" Belonging often grows slowly. Second, reduce self-focused attention. When your mind constantly observes itself, interactions feel unnatural. It's like watching a movie while analyzing every camera angle. Instead of asking, "How am I being perceived?" shift your attention outward. Ask, "What is interesting about this person?" Curiosity quiets the inner observer. Third, accept cognitive differences. Some people naturally process the world differently. They think more deeply, reflect more, analyze slowly. This doesn't mean they will never belong. It means belonging may appear in smaller environments. Large social groups reward speed. Depth often thrives in smaller spaces. Fourth, seek resonance instead of popularity. Belonging is not about being liked by everyone. It is about resonance. Resonance happens when someone hears your thoughts and quietly says, "I've felt that too." You don't need many connections for that. Sometimes a few are enough. Your mind is not searching for crowds, it is searching for recognition. Think of belonging like a radio frequency. Every person broadcasts a signal, values, thought patterns, emotional depth. Most people tune in to common frequencies, but some minds operate on less common channels. They spend more time scanning the environment, more time wondering where they fit. But this doesn't mean the signal is wrong. It simply means it is rarer, and rare signals take longer to find matching receivers. Belonging is not about changing your frequency. It is about finding the places where your signal makes sense. So, if you sometimes feel like you don't belong anywhere, pause before turning that feeling into a judgment about yourself, because what you might actually be experiencing is a reflective mind, a mind that searches for meaning, a mind that values authenticity more than simple acceptance. These minds move through the world differently. They observe more, they question more, they search longer. But eventually they realize something important. Belonging was never about fitting in perfectly into every room. It was about finding the few spaces where you can stop observing yourself and simply exist. And when that happens, the feeling of being an outsider quietly disappears.